Italia. We're finishing in Dublin, and just look at the wind, Dan. It's going to be massive.
Yeah, it's the first point at which I've really seen winds playing a part. You can see the flags in the background there. They're blowing across the road from the left-hand side of the screen as we look at it, which is why we're seeing the riders in this breakaway just fanning across the road. Rubiano, the Colombian champion from the Colombia team, on the front, and just behind and to the left of him, Dox from Lotto Belisol, just trying to get protection from the wind. Whether or not anyone in the peloton will start riding hard behind, I'm not sure, but I mean, they've got to ride reasonably hard to close this gap down. It's still upwards close to 3 minutes, so they're going to have to ride at a reasonable speed from here to the finish in order to make sure that they catch this 5-man breakaway.
Do your jersey up, for goodness sake, and in came, I should say, and he does exactly that.
Well, he was trying to do it before, and that's when I first noticed. The wheel, the wind caught his front wheel and threw him offline. Of course, not quite enough to cause him to crash, but that was the first indication I got that there was a lot of wind out there.
Goodness me, look at the little rooster tails being kicked up off the wheels here. You'll want your glasses on right now, but it even stings the face when that kind of level of water is being thrown up. 36.5 kilometres to go, and they're on a bit of a hurry up here. They've had a couple of crashes which they have waited for riders rather kindly. So many riders from across teams, so nobody attacked. However, what that's done is it's allowed those in the breakaway to hold station at the moment. 2 minutes 46. We told you yesterday about the general rule about a breakaway, as we look at Apollino here, just trying to pace himself back in. Do your rain jersey up, you go a bit quicker, my friend. Apollino is a sprinter, might well be there towards the end. He's not bad. Yesterday, he was 9th. He's got some effort to put in today. So, general rule, as I just alluded to, 2 minutes and 43, it's about a minute per 10k. This is a long way out. That can be closed down, but if that gap holds and we get into around about 15, 18 to go, they're going to start to believe. They're on dry roads, back on wet.
Just about to point that out, Carlton. Yet again, as we saw earlier in the stage, very differing weather conditions between the breakaway, who seem to have had the best of it throughout today, compared to the peloton, where the rain's really coming down hard. I mean, there must only be 2 kilometres between the two of them, but it's amazing a difference that 2 kilometres is making.
Look at that, and how narrow is that? There's only going to be 3 riders comfortably exiting that, and there'll be 6 into it, into Lusk. Just wait and see Cadell Evans' BMC boys up the front, because that's what he calls for. They also, some of the team cars have TV, and they're probably listening to exactly what we're saying right now, which is when we say something that's slightly disrespectful, you know, teasing, you understand, then yes, it sometimes comes back to us if we're sharing a hotel with various teams. Mixed surface as well. We've had a few repairs. In fact, saw some rolling repairs in Dublin today that had not or been forgotten in the build-up, so they had to be done. And this is a high-paced day. That's Moreno Moser, and just playing with the cars, using the best aero, and he'll take the motorcycles, he'll take other riders, other team cars as well, as he makes his way back through. Clever stuff, but it's amazing how much energy you can save if you are good at that sort of thing. Yeah, it makes a huge, huge difference. In fact, an impossibility sometimes to get back to the peloton in front of you if you're not allowed to use the slipstreaming effect of the cars after a mechanical, after giving a rain jacket back. Wow, the flags really are blowing strong there. There's the very experienced duo of Daniel Oss and Manuel Quinziato of BMC team on the front of the bunch, nursing Cadell Evans through these opening stages and doing a fantastic job of it too, just in case anything happens in the wind. I actually put a tweet up this morning with a forecast for the wind, and Quinziato replied to me saying, well, I hope it's not too windy, or words to that effect, but he's doing a great job. Oh, no. Well, we kind of knew it, didn't we? You had to be at the front to be safe, and it's Belkin that are on the deck, and they have stacked up behind, and this could well be a big one, because that was pacey.
Yeah, it was. It was just that funneling after the roundabout, and everyone trying to be towards the one of the Orica riders down. Looks to me like possibly Peter Weening. That's not looking great. Brett Lancaster there as well, so this is disaster for the Australian squad. They've got enough riders up with Michael Matthews in the pink jersey still, but Weening not looking particularly good at the moment.
No, he's absolutely standing on the ground, and that is not great. Oh, my goodness, and it racks up. That's Niemiec, incidentally, the GC hope for Lampre Merida. He's on the deck. That's a good sign.
It's Meyer, sorry, Cameron Meyer on the floor.
Well, Cam Meyer does get himself back and upright, at least. It is Cam Meyer, but he's gone all pale, and I'm not surprised. He's still just trying to wonder if he is okay. I don't know whether he's concussed. Has he taken a crack on the jaw? I think that's the problem. He's just not quite with it at the moment. Let's have a look at it. It's on the exit. So look just to the left of your screen. It's street furniture, I'm afraid, with a walking policeman at that point, and it's just out of shot. You'll see the camera just catch up with it right now. Goodness me. Well, it looks like teammates may well have actually just got involved. So many of the Belkin riders found themselves on the deck, and then a select few of unfortunates, I'm afraid. One of the Sky riders also down, and I'm not sure it's not Edvald Bosenhagen.
It's hard to tell from the overhead shots that we've got just there. I think, unfortunately, one of the Belkin riders involved in the crash was Wilco Kelderman, who I mentioned earlier. He'd already been involved in a crash at the intermediate sprint, so a disastrous day so far for him. He's just getting back onto his bike, as is Cameron Meyer. Nice to see him back onto his bike now. He's going to try and regain contact with the peloton. Not going to be an easy task. They haven't really let up this time, and they can't afford to do so. 2 minutes gap with 33 Ks to go. The sprinters team's still riding up there on the front. Giant Shimano doing a job, and it's going to be a difficult task for those guys who crashed to relay back to that peloton.
It is, because they have a problem, a big problem that is, and it's because they have more team principals up the road that are going to be protected, and that gap can't be allowed to get out, so they're going to have to, or to widen, I should say, to the breakaway riders. We told you how clever BMC are, and that Cadel Evans is a wise old fox. He knew there was a technical section coming up. BMC in their black and red were very much to the fore and avoided all that problem, albeit coming a little bit earlier than I expected it to.
Yeah, you can see groups trying to chase back on here. This is Thomas Decker from Garmin Sharp, just trying to get back to that group, but they're still off the back of the peloton, and it takes teams a while to get to know exactly who's been left behind. There'll be all sorts of communication going on between the riders and the director sportifs to make sure that the team leaders are okay. I think most of them are up at the front, and you're right, Carlton. Evans, wily and experienced, knows where he needs to be. Doesn't mean that he never crashes, but you really reduce your chances if you stay up there in that top 20.
Yep, fantastic. At the line, plenty of the old Giro poly bags have been handed out as rain protection for the brave. And in fact, I am looking outside the commentary position at the moment, and there is no way to walk by on the paving. It is absolutely rammed. Vantage points being gained as we speak. They're going to get one heck of a welcome south of the border, as they have had north on the 2 stages that started off this 97th Giro d'Italia, heading down to Dublin. Just over 180 kilometres for them to deal with today, 187. 31.8 of those are left. You are looking at the breakaway riders. They've been in the best place, really, Dan, because they've had more road space to play with. They've stayed safe. Can't be said for the main bunch.
Well, no, it's very calm in the breakaway in comparison to the bunch. Where everyone's extremely nervous, particularly coming in towards the last part of the stage. You can see the group behind is just about managing to make contact with the main peloton in front. So we're around about 20 strong there. We haven't really got any identification of the riders, whether there's any of the big leaders, sprinters, GC riders in that group, but looks like they will make it back to the main peloton, but that will have taken some energy out of them.
Certainly will have done. 31.4 is a minute 37 is the gap, and so although there has been a gentle easing of the pace, I think maybe fatigue is starting to play a part with those in the breakaway as well. They've certainly not had things all their own way past some of the glass houses where goodness only knows tomatoes, I believe, are being grown. 31.1 kilometres to go. I don't think there's a wine crop in this part of the world.
You're right, Carlton. It was Edvald Bosenhagen involved in that crash. Confirmation coming from Team Sky. Back on his bike, 31 kilometres to go then, and yesterday I think they were pretty much all working for Ben Swift, and that slight uphill drag to the finish might favour him a little bit more than yesterday's stage, but let's hope Edvald, the Norwegian, is doing okay.
Yeah, it will have given him a big rattle though, and even if you haven't broken anything, it really does affect the musculature, and he will have had to fight to get back on as well, albeit possibly helped. That said, he has let it be known that he's looking